What's up, gang? Welcome to another video about today. Today's video is all about CARDFIGHT VANGUARD. That's because I'm really excited to show you guys the new Shadow Paladin deck profile that I created post VBT04 Vilest Deletor booster box. This is a really interesting deck box. We're gonna get a lot of support to Marakuma, Pale Moon, especially Shadow Paladin. Look at the support changes the whole deck, in my opinion. You don't need to run no more MACHAS or CHARRONS no more. You can do something else and still be viable. Let's just run right through my trigger lineup real quick. I run 4 heals, of course. I run 5 draws because I like draws. They're not bad. Crits are not necessary with the new Gust Blaster Dragon. You kind of keep forcing crits. But yeah, Howl Owl is really nice. I might run 2 of him, so maybe run 6 draws, but right now it's working really well. And 7 triggers with my Fall Bow. Moving on, let's run with first the main, which is the core of the deck. Everyone knows this card. Rest this unit. Search your deck for up to 1 card with 5k power. Call it to an open rear guard. Oh, it has to be an open rear guard. Okay. Shuffle your deck. This ability can only be used once per turn by the same unit. So you can only use 1 main every turn. You rest this unit and you call a Swordbringer, which is a grade 1 5k unit that can be called by the main. And her ability is amazing. It's a triple rare. It's a Counterblast 1. Draw a card. If this card was placed from hand, you get plus 5k. So you rest in the main. You get this card from the deck. You Counterblast 1. You draw a card. So you just plus 2 for a Counterblast and in the main. Next, I really need a lot because my core is in the main, and I run a lot of stuff that I need a lot of stuff that I can call with the main. I run 2 Fierce Sword Dragons. I've never used him before, but he's a 5k power which works with the main, and his ability is retire this unit. 2 of your rear guards get plus 3k. Not bad at all. I've never used the ability though. And Mana Bow is the new common. I really like this card. It's really good synergy. It makes it really easy to hit magic numbers. His ability is if your unit was retired during this turn, this unit gets plus 5k. Whenever you see a card that says if your unit, that means it only happens 1. If you see a card that says when you're in unit, that means it could stack up. So this doesn't stack up. It only works 1, but still really useful. Really cool ability. It makes a 13k column, or at least back row, which is really good. Hits magic numbers. And his second ability is when it boosts a Soul Bow, which is my grade 2. Draw a card and discard the card. So it helps you filter your hand if you have too many PBDs. Really good. Here I have some controversy. I know nobody likes this, but I actually run Cursed Lancers just because I run so much Counterblast. I don't have enough, and I don't run any Soul Blast. So this actually really synergizes really well. And with my Gust Blaster Dragon, it really works because I always have an empty field, at least an empty lane, so I can just call this on any empty rearguard. His skill is continuous. When this card would be called from hand, must be called to rearguard with a unit. From hand must be called to rearguard with a unit. I don't know what that means. When this card would be called from hand, it must be called to rearguard with a unit. Oh, it has to sit on a... Oh, I used to think this only can be placed on open rearguards. This actually has to be placed on a rearguard that has a unit on it. Okay, so it's actually the opposite of what I used to think. Oh, so it actually has to... This has to be placed on top of units. I get it now. I get it. Okay, so you have to retire your own unit to call this. Okay, that makes it not really viable anymore. But so you would still only run it at 3. But his second ability is what I run it. Soul Blast 1. This unit gets plus 10k until the end of the turn. If your damage zone has no face-up cards, counter charge 1. Really good. I really need the counter charge. Dark Bond Trumpeter is the new card. It's a triple rare. When placed, cost Counterblast 1. Search your deck for up to 1 grade 5. For up to 1 card with 5k power. Call it as rest. And shuffle your deck. And then every time you call a 5k unit, this card gets plus 3k. So this happens every time because it says when your power 5k. If it said if your power 5k unit is called, then it's only once. And then Soul Bow. When placed from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card game. So this is the only problem with this. You can only use it if you have a Blaster. Cost Counterblast 1. Search your deck for up to 1 Mana Bow, which Mana Bow is really cool. Call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck. This unit gets plus 5k. If you think about it, this unit gets plus 5k for a Mana Bow. So 14k plus the 13k, that's a 27k column. That's a magic number right there against Axel. Really good synergy. Next, I will play Gust Blaster Dragon. When it attacks, counterblast 1, retire 2 rear guards, draw a card, which I always forget. This is really good resources. Your opponent chooses a card, retires it, and then this unit gets plus 10k. And then his second ability is when your rear guard is retired. This says when your rear guard is retired. That means what? We can stack it. When your rear guard is retired, if a grade 3 with Blaster in its card name is in your soul, you get a crit for every unit retired. That means just for retiring 2 of him, just retiring for his cost gives you 3 crit on him. I run 3 PBDs. You know why? Because he kills everything. And then I run Car. Car is really cool. I have a lot of Soul Blast by the end of the game. You know, I don't Soul Blast at all, so he's really useful. And so let's just jump out and try to load one of my games. I actually played the game versus Neo Nectar, and I didn't do so bad. Here we are. So the Neo Nectar obviously opened really well. He has grade 1, grade 3, and a grade 2 in his hand. I only have grade 1 and grade 2. So I'm kind of terrified here already. And my grade 1s are not ideal because I drew 2 Nemains. But I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call a Rider Nemain. And I'm going to call a Nemain to call a Nemain. So I'm going to kind of do like a Nemainception where Nemain is my whole field. Oh my god, there's so much boobs on the field. Anyways, and I just attack with 5k. He's like, okay man, 1 to pass. I'm like, alright, let's play this game. I'm gonna win it. And I do hit the critical. But now I have a 5k Nemain sitting on my Vanguard. It's basically a deleted Vanguard. I can't really guard it. So I kind of just have to take the damage. And here we are. We get another damage. He gets a critical. I take 2 damage. I draw. Thankfully, I was able to draw, kind of refill my hand up. And here we are. Stand up, called Dark Trumpeter. Dark Trumpeter uses her ability to call a Winged Breaker. Winged Breaker uses her ability to... Swordbreaker, sorry. Swordbreaker uses her ability to counterblast 1 and draw a card. Perfect synergy, really well. Works out really amazing for me. And I still have the ability to call another card with Nemain. So I'm almost full field with just units that I did not even place from my hand, as you can see. So too bad I drew with the Swordbreaker. I drew a Nemain, but that's fine. You know, I have so many other 5k grade 1s in my deck that it really doesn't matter. I could just use her as a shield. At that point, you know, it doesn't really matter. I have 10 cards that are 5k power in my deck right now. Well, I guess I used 5 of them at this point. Okay. I call the Mana Boo, but I'm like, well, I'm kind of calculating and it's not adding up for me. So I just kind of put him back and I just attack with the 10k. So I'm kind of realizing that I'm really weak running all these 5k powers. So I really need to be able to use them as tribute for PBD or the Gust Blaster Dragon, because they're really useless on my field. They're not doing anything, especially without my force tokens. But that's fine. So he says 1 to hit on my Vanguard. Of course, we all know who wins this game. It's always me. And I actually hit him. So we move on. Now I have my Gust Blaster finally. Thankfully, I have a Gust Blaster Dragon. And we're doing this. So he does his whole shenanigans where he's able to fill up a field with 1 card or 2 cards from hand. It's crazy, dude. And he's actually working really well. These cards work really well together because the Sage is able to call another card, draw another card by calling him and giving plus 10k to the whole column. Like, it's really good synergy. Neo Nectar work together really well. Then Rose gives plus 5k to all his grade 0s, making this a 25k by itself. That's a horrible number against me, a little 9k, you know, little 9k girl, little 9k trumpeter. So actually, versus Neo Nectar, grade 2 is terrifying. It's actually terrifying playing against Neo Nectar while you're on grade 2, but that's fine. Once I hit grade 3, I can maybe kind of get my resources back with the Gust Blaster, and I'll do better. So here I take the first damage. The second one, I'm like kind of calculating what am I gonna do, and I realized that there are some numbers that are not adding up for me, because I don't know how the 18k in the back row is 18k. So I'm kind of asking him like, are you sure that's an 18k column back there? And he actually redoes his math, and he's like, no, I actually messed that up. But anyway, so I'm like at 23k. I could toss a crit, but that would still be 24. That's 1 to hit, and then I could toss in the main, which is 2 to hit. Or I could just toss a null shield and kind of get over this. I should have tossed the crit in the main and kept the null shield. Just you never know how stronger. I mean, he's definitely gonna get stronger. So it was bad that I tossed the null shield here. Now that I'm kind of recalculating, I'm like, okay, I could definitely just toss a critical and keep in the main, and because I don't really need her. And then I take the last attack because it's huge. And now you jump to Gust Blast. So I'm already at 3 damage. I'm not healing anything. And actually, I don't think I healed the whole game. Let me see. I don't remember if I do or not, but I don't think I healed the whole game. So I run Gust Blaster. I'm like thinking now, okay, maybe I can run the main, using the main to call a Sword Breaker. Sword Breaker will allow me to get a card, and then I could use that column and just eat them for my Vanguard. So that was the calculations that are running in my head. And actually worked out really well. I drew another Gust Blaster, and so I have my next turn, an extra force, and I'm kind of ready for the next turn. So I use my left thing, 10k, to just get rid of, just attack. Really is all I wanted to do, is attack with it. And then I use my Gust Blaster to kill my left field and call out a unit. He says 1 crit, right? I say yeah. Here I forget to draw from the Vanguard. This should have been my draw, but I actually drive check it, and we just go on with it, and I get 2 crits. So he actually is supposed to die right here, but guess what happens? New Nectar saves the day, and he gets a heal trigger. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I was supposed to draw, right? So you shouldn't have had the heal trigger, but, and then look what I draw. Because I'm like, oh wait, I didn't draw for the Vanguard, and I drew the heal. That means if I drew the critical, I would have healed. But I kind of cheated and misplayed, so I lost on the heal. So I just do deserve that. But yeah, at that point, I'm very frustrated. He's frustrated because the misplays are happening. He's supposed to lose, but he actually kind of won out of nowhere. Like, kind of came back. So he's kind of frustrated, but that's fine. We're moving on. Right now he's doing his shenanigans. Look at the new Nectars though. It kind of is bad that he has a full zone that's on the damage zone. He doesn't use any counterblast. So that kind of sucks for him. Maybe it's because he didn't ride any Cecilias. Both his Cecilias died. Well, yeah, he didn't draw a single Cecilia. I'm pretty sure he would have rode on her as Cecilia. But he kept a really full field the whole game. I mean, the whole game he had 5 rear guards, or 4 at least. So the Cecilia, I mean, he would have added a couple of cards, but a couple of rear guards like that are actually grade 2s and grade 1s, but he wasn't doing that bad anyways with the roses. So the rose is still really viable, especially she gives 5k to everybody. So this is a 20k 30k column right here. So we'll move on. It's my turn now. I'm kind of thinking here, I know I can only counterblast for Gust Blaster, so I'm here telling myself, okay, I'm gonna main, call something, probably Sword Breaker. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call, I kind of want to end him here, right? So I call a Mana Bow on top of the Soul Break, under the Sword Breaker. And this is how I figure out it's hitting for magical numbers. Because I have a Force trigger on the left circle, I can hit 15k on my Sword Breaker. And with a Mana Bow that's 13k, that's 28k, that he needs more than a critical to guard that. Can you believe that? Just with a little 5k and an 8k grade 1s, I can hit a magic number that needs a heal trigger to guard. Here I'm asking him if Mana Bow stacks. I didn't know exactly the wording, but he kind of explained it to me, which is really cool of him. He didn't have to. And yeah, man, look at his hand. He has about 60k shield, I think. Yeah, 10, 20, 30, 40, 55, 60. 60k shield, plus what's on the ground, 65k shield. I have 20k rear guard attacking, that's 10k, so he only has 50k left. I'll hit this for 36. This will be 36, so that's gonna be 1, 10, 20, 30, at least 30 or 40. He tosses out 10, 20, 30. He tosses out 35 actually. Tosses out 35 shield. And this is my draw. I remember, I'm like, oh, I didn't draw before. This should be my draw. I misplayed a lot this game, guys. But I just wanted to showcase how I could still beat a Neo Nectar even when I'm misplaying with this deck. And Neo Nectar is supposed to be my mortal enemy. I'm supposed to not be able to kill any of their units, which I really didn't. I didn't kill any of their grade 0s. And so I didn't get any triggers. Here I got a bunch of grade 3s, which kind of sucks. No, it really sucks. But it's okay, let's just move on. So this is obviously his final turn. If he doesn't get me this turn, he's gonna lose. But look at the pluses I have. I have 9 cards in hand. Is that 9 or 10? 9 cards in hand, and he only has 1. So we understand now that Neo Nectar has no plussing because no support, and the Shadow Paladin have a lot of plussing because a lot of support. And it was 2 to hit. He didn't hit the 2, so he kind of gives it to his friend. I was able to guard that with the heal, and here I just tossed my last 2 criticals to guard it. So I actually kind of just survived that. If he hit 2 triggers, I would have definitely lost, even if he gave him 2 different units. Here we are. I ride the PBD just for the extra force, and I play the car. A Soul Blast. At this point, I have how much? Still 4k, 4 soul charge. I can use car 4 times, so I have a lot of Soul Blast in this game. That's why I run Cursed Lancer. But I thought Cursed Lancer has to be on an open rear guard. Apparently, it has to be on an open, has to be on a rear guard with a unit on it. So you have to kill a unit for him to sit down. I get it now. And that's it. He takes the last damage. That was a really fun game, guys. It's really easy to hit magic numbers with the mana bow, even if you have just a grade 1 5k unit. So mana bows, I think, are really important. But let me know what you guys think of the Cursed Lancer. Obviously, I didn't use him this game, but do you guys think he's viable in this format, like with the new support? I really think so. I don't think you need Macha and Charron anymore, but if you guys do think you need them, let me know why in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you guys soon. So make sure to subscribe and like this video if you do like it, and I'll see you guys, Batata Gang. See you later. Bye bye, guys.